Not every sci-fi show can pull off space drama, but Apple TV brought us one of the best space shows of the century. There are certainly things that make this show notable. For starters, it was set in an alternate version of space. We all know an American astronaut made it to the moon first, but things are quite different on For All Mankind. And also, the show has an impeccable cast, who are without their secrets. In today's video, while telling you more about the show, we're going to show you For All Mankind cast secrets nobody knew about. Joel Kinnaman plays the role of Edward Baldwin on the show. Joel played an astronaut on the show, one who sought redemption after making drunken and derogatory remarks about NASA. But that isn't all about his character. When the show started, his character, Edward Baldwin, seemed like the protagonist, and he got a lot of screen time in the first season, but mostly because he's an interesting character. One thing about Joel's character, Edward, that no one can really tell is his loyal trait. Ed Baldwin is as loyal as they come on the show. Let's start with the fact that he was a remarkable commander when he ventured into space himself. He displayed his trait as a good leader, with his whole role as the chief of the astronaut office, and remained a good father to his son and eventually to Kelly as well. He also kept all the people who supported him along the way close to his heart when he occupied the executive NASA position. In all, he's a great character to watch. Michael Dorman, who portrays Gordo Stevens on the show, is one character that has milked the show's length to its own benefit. In the first season of the show, he wasn't particularly anyone's favorite. I mean, the man was an arrogant astronaut who had no regard for his wife and children. Pretty upsetting. His character suffered a lot of emotional anguish when he fell from grace, which turned out to be Ed Baldwin's breakthrough. He got into a spiral because of his personal anguish, and it caused him to become a drunk with fragile emotions. One thing nobody knew about Gordo was his will to become a better person. We may have seen it play out, but not many would have understood how much it meant to him. The second season saw Gordo take his life into his own hands to turn things around. He became a better character, dealing with the trauma of what happened to him at Jamestown Base, which proved to be a turning point for him. He also tried to become a better father and husband as he started to show love for his wife, and after a moment on the moon leads to a breakthrough. He returns to seek therapy when not many would have. Gordo overcame his fears and made it back to Jamestown Base, where he sacrificed his life to save everyone. Ren Schmidt plays the role of Margot Madison. Margot was a NASA employee and longtime associate of controversial engineer Wernher von Braun. But there was more. Character came off as ambitious and with a moral compass, but she's limited by the struggles in every workplace. Male superiority. She's an aspiring woman trapped in a man's world, and she struggles to move to the top and rank above the men. You see, Margot may have had great morals, but her secret character was revealed 2 years into the future on the show. Remember, she's ambitious and goal-driven. The question is, how far would she go? Well, it turns out she could go a distance to get what she wants. When she was put aside for a promotion, she blackmailed her way into a powerful position, and of course, she got power drunk. She left Aleida in a terrible situation when she was denied her sanctuary after her father got deported, and not without manipulation. She also ordered the astronauts to leave Molly in space to die. Her ambition can be seen as for the good of everyone, but her obsession was always unknown to everyone. Sonia Walger played the role of Molly Cobb on the show, the only female astronaut who stood out. One thing not everyone knows is that it had always been Molly's dream to become an astronaut, so she always aspired to lead and be the best. As the series moved forward, she formed an interesting bond with Ed Baldwin, Tracy, and even her loving relationship with Wayne. Her trait as an amazing character was also on display when she almost sacrificed her life on the moon. But Molly was quite a stubborn character, and it was pretty hard to get to know her as a person. Basically, Molly was a tough woman who didn't take grief from anyone and was one of the best female astronauts. But her tiny secret was her dreams to be the best there was. Sarah Jones, who plays the role of Tracy Stevens, was Gordo's wife and also a pilot who was recruited to fly for NASA's space race. Gordo wasn't the best husband, but Tracy wasn't without blame as well, but she eventually left him, and when she did, she let everyone know that she was happy without him. But Tracy's little secret was her feelings for Gordo regardless of their marital problems. How do we know this? Well, Tracy didn't hide the fact that she sought independence and happiness outside Gordo, but she showed off a lot in front of Gordo, and many saw this as her way of showing her feelings for Gordo. Tracy started off as a typical housewife housewife who was cheated on by her husband. She may have been mean to her ex-husband, but she remained a good mother to her children. In Jamestown, we also got to see a different side of Tracy when she struggled to become a valuable member of the team, who eventually sacrificed her to save everyone. Chantel Van Santen, who plays the role of Karen Baldwin, is mostly known as Edward Baldwin's wife on the show. In the first season, Karen is the typical jealous housewife who went as far as bad-mouthing other women over her husband. Karen was rude and dismissive to other women because she didn't consider them worthy of going into space with her husband. This made people see her as an impulsive person whose decisions always had negative consequences. But there was some good side to her. She tends to show grace to people and empathy because she believes that people endure personal problems in private. Also, when she lost her son, we got to see a side of Karen no one had seen before. It completely changed her. For starters, she became more independent, and she even bought The Outpost, ran it for a while before she sold it by the end of the second season. Chris Marshall portrays the character Danielle Poole. For All Mankind is one show that has a lot of female characters, and to make it more special, they're mostly astronauts. For Danielle, one can say she sprung up on the group from nowhere, and that's kind of her secret, her life in general. Before joining the group, Danielle lost her husband, and she was held captive for a couple of episodes. But despite all these, she emerged as an excellent astronaut. In fact, without her, the Apollo-Soyuz project could have been a flop. She trained to be an astronaut, and she earned herself a spot on the trip to the moon with Ed and Gordo. While on the moon, Danielle went through a lot as a character. She became an important player, and she also formed a pretty close relationship with the guys. She got severely injured while on the moon, and she protected the career of her fellow astronaut, Gordo, while putting her own reputation on the line. Danielle is one character everyone loves, and the fact that she has a good heart despite what she's been through only doubles the love fans have for her. Aleida Rosales is played by two actors, Olivia Trujillo and Coral Pena. When the series kicked off, Aleida was only a kid, so it was a bit of a character arc when another actor played a much older Aleida when the show jumped ahead in time. She's well known for her brilliant mind, and even as she aged, she was still very much fascinated with science and ambition as she was a child. In fact, the mere prospect of a NASA job was enough to spark up her interest in seconds. What you didn't know about Aleida is she loves a person with all her earth. She was in love with her boyfriend that she almost threw away all her opportunities when she jeopardized her relationship with Margot over him. Due to this, she broke up with her boyfriend and ordered him to leave. Played by Cynthia Wu, Kelly Baldwin is a much newer character on the show, but there's a lot to her character that you don't know about. Her little severer dwelt within her emotions. Being an adopted child, she always felt like she was a band-aid for her parents' marriage and a replacement for the son Ed and Karen lost. Aside from that, Kelly was a great character, open-hearted and cheerful. She also had a win on the show as she got to meet her biological father. Not only that, Kelly was determined to join the military, and luckily for her, she got into the Naval Academy. That's a wrap for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for this channel. We have loads of exciting content for you.